Gallimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It seemed like an age before we went online there. Well, as you can see, what a fantastic Monday morning it is. The little cats are out and about having a bit of a play. The chickens are hanging around as always. As soon as they see me on the balcony, they're straight out. The weather today is absolutely fantastic. And as you saw yesterday, thank you to all those people who were dropping us little comments on our first day back on the feeding rota in Kalamaki, just how lovely everything looked yesterday. The weather fantastic. Can't believe it's November the 8th today, and the weather is awesome. Thank you to the lovely Amanda for her concise weather forecast. She said, good morning, Ginge. Monday's weather, much the same as yesterday, with cloud and sunshine. Yeah, a little bit of cloud up there, but yeah, sunshine. Temperatures, she says today, will be 23, but feel like 25. I've got to be honest, yesterday, my bike was saying 32 as the temperature on my bike. So the weather, again, today, absolutely glorious. Big shout out to Andy Orchard, who's looking in at the moment. Happy birthday for the other day, mate. I hope you had a good one. So let's crack on with the news. Let's find out what's been going on in Greece in the last 24 hours. Here from the balcony. Right, get myself comfortable. Okay then, COVID in the last 24 hours here in Greece has been on the decline. You may remember that last week we're having some very, very high numbers. Well, the numbers are starting to drop. The day before, I'd reported to you 6,393 new cases of the virus. That number has dropped down to 4,307 new infections across the country, bringing the grand total now since the pandemic started to 784,904, of which 50% of those are male. Anyway, there were 13 new cases identified after checks into the country. That was also down on the previous 16 on the day before. Now, according to the national stats, cases on Macardo, they seem to have steadied at 11 new cases, 11 on the day before. They are a green island in the Greek system. Well, their traffic light system. Cases in Corfu at the moment, they have dropped. Previously reported that they'd had 85. They had 55 new cases reported. They are in the red. Cases in Catalonia, their number has dropped slightly. They had 13 cases, and yesterday reported they had 9 new cases on their island, and they're actually in amber. In Catalonia. And Zakynthos, where I am, yes, we've had quite a drop actually. We had 27 new cases reported the day before. Yesterday, 17 new cases. However, we are still in the red in regards the epidemiology chart. However, just remind you that Greece is in the green as far as the rest of Europe is concerned, but within the country with its own system for each individual prefecture, we are in the red. So just make that clear. So the country is not in the red. It is just certain areas within Greece are in red, but in the eyes of Europe, Greece is still green. When it comes to deaths then, I'm afraid the death rate has gone up slightly from the previous report. We did have 43 deaths previously reported. Yesterday it was reported we had 52 deaths. That brings the death toll now up to 16,295 since the pandemic started. 95% of those people were over the age of 70 or had underlying other medical problems. So once again, our condolences to those families that are affected. When it comes to critical cases at the moment, I'm again there on the rise again, which is of worry to obviously the health authorities here, who are reporting that they're feeling great strain at the moment in hospitalizations. At the moment, it was at 459. It has now gone up to 470 critical cases in hospital. Of that 470, 273 are male, 197 are female. The average age of those people affected is 65 years of age. and 81% of those have underlying health issues or are over the age of 70. Now, regarding the critical patients, 382 of them are unvaccinated or partially vaccinated, while 88 of those people are fully vaccinated. So the unvaccinated are outweighing the vaccinated at the moment as far as Greece is concerned. So today's news then. It seems the police in Zakynthos started their intensive inspections on Saturday morning, both in bars, restaurants and shops and stores, in order to determine whether the new measures concerning the vaccinations of the unvaccinated are being observed. So once again, you may remember the new measures came in on Saturday morning and the police have been out and about. Now, inspections started in the centre of Zakynthos town. Companies and customers were checked to see if they had their required documentation. Also, employers were checked as well to make sure that their staff were following the rules in regards having health certificates to say that they had been tested. And at the same time, checks were also made on traffic, people walking up and down and driving up and down Alexander Roma Street to see that they were wearing masks when they should be. And also, again, checking to see whether people were being checked before they went into establishments before being allowed entry. So at the moment, according to the national stats then, the Greek authorities conducted 90,882 checks with inspections all over the country on Saturday to enforce the new measures. And also the checks resulted in 11 arrests, 594 violations and fines, and 23 stores were shut down. Of that, a well-known nightclub in central Athens was shut down during the early hours of Sunday morning in an inspection which identified several patrons as not having vaccination or recovery certificates. So people have been allowed in without their relative paperwork. Anyway, this was the third offence that this club had been committed in a span of a few days. And they had their operating license revoked for 60 days. So trust me, having your license taken away for 60 days, that is nearly 2 months. So that is basically going to destroy their Christmas. That's going to probably destroy their New Year as well. Again, basically the government are taking this very, very seriously at the moment. Anyway, on the other side of that, then, it seems that the Greek vaccination program is accelerating again, according to data provided by the Greek Deputy Minister of Digital Government, George Georgidis, and he was speaking on Greek Sky's morning show Galimera. The number of first dose appointments tripled last week compared to last October. Anyway, the Deputy Minister noted people's responsibility and realising the need to shield themselves either by giving the first dose of the vaccine or the souvenir, as they call it, lately show a special mobility. That's a bit of a Greek way of talking about it, but basically what they're saying is that people now are showing responsibility and obviously doing the right thing. I will still say myself, again, it's about choice at the end of the day. Now, in detail, on Monday to Saturday, 130,000 citizens scheduled their appointments for the first instalment of the vaccine, compared to just 45,000 on the week ending October. Now, during the same period, more than 200,000 appointments were made for the third instalment, that is the third dose or the booster. Now, on Monday, he said, we will reach 500,000 people who have taken the booster dose. Messages have been sent since Friday and Saturday to remind people who are completing their semester that they have the opportunity to make the commemorative dose. That's the way it translates, added Mr. Georgidis. Anyway, it seems that the commemorative dose basically means the third dose for those that want it. Anyway, he concluded, according to him, yesterday, that 15,000 citizens were vaccinated with the first dose it's like a small town being shielded. Well, that is a small town of 15,000 people. So there you go. It looks like all go, go, go. The Greek government still banging the drum. Vaccination is the way out of the pandemic. Thank you for those people who sent me messages yesterday on my story yesterday, reference the Dr. Sebastian Ushwood's article about the research done in Sweden about the effectiveness of vaccines and how the vaccines start to wear off after periods of time. Basically, when the vaccines first came out, they weren't given enough time in trials. They were only given 2 months instead of being given, say, 6 months. And the figures are now showing that the vaccines are not as effective 2 or 3 months down the road as from when they were first when people were first vaccinated. So thank you for those comments. People sending me other interesting little snippets of information in regards to that. Candice Owen, an online blogger with I think it's The Wire. At the moment, she is very much pro-choice. She's not had the vaccine, and she has a blog with The Wire, and it seems that they're in the process of suing the Biden administration over the forcing of people to take the vaccine when they don't want it, saying that it's unconstitutional. So we keep an eye on that story. Myself, I'm still not wanting the vaccine at the moment. I'm still hanging out, and we'll see where things go and see how difficult life gets at the moment. It is, in fact, my certificate of disease, as it is called, has been quite effective. It's not given me any problems going in anywhere. As long as you put your mask on, show your piece of paper, then you can go in and out. But at the moment, I still am not convinced about having the vaccine at the moment. But that's my choice. Up to you to make your choice, whether you want it or whether you don't want it. And those people that haven't had it, nice to hear from those people who are quietly dropping me messages saying they still don't want to vaccinate. They still don't feel comfortable about vaccinating, but specifically, they still believe it is their choice to be vaccinated or not the threats or the bribery or the other make life difficult for those people that basically don't want it and don't want to conform, I think is the wording a lot of people were using as well. Anyway, another story not related to COVID, but again of interest. The Vatican announced on Friday that Pope Francis will be travelling to Cyprus and to Greece between the 2nd and 6th of December. Now, it's said that the pontiff will first travel to Nicosia, and then he will then travel to Athens, and he's also going to make a visit to the island of Lesbos as well. Now, according to the Holy Father's press office, the Pope is undertaking an apostolic journey to Cyprus and Greece upon the invitation of the country's civil authorities and also its bishops as well. Now, it's said that Francis will spend December the 2nd to the 4th in Nicosia before heading to Athens and the island of Lesbos. Now, Pope Francis' first visit to Cyprus will see him again following the footsteps of his predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI, who likewise made an apostolic journey to the Mediterranean island in 2010. Now, the vast majority of Cypriots identify as Greek Orthodox, but the nation has a vibrant Latin-rife community. I never realised that, and I'd lived there for 9.5 years, of around 2,400 Catholics as well. Many of them can even trace their roots back to the Crusaders who settled there after the fall of Jerusalem in the 12th century. Anyway, St. Paul stopped off in Cyprus in the 1st century AD and converted the island's Roman governor, Sextus Paulus, to Christianity. Tradition holds that St. Lazarus, whom was raised from the dead by Jesus, fled to Cyprus fearing persecution and was ordained as the Bishop of Kiton by the apostles Barnabas and Paul, and his tomb is under the Byzantine Church of St. Lazarus in Larnaca. Again, I never realised that either. Anyway, Pope Francis's trip to Greece will be his second following his one-day visit to the Greek island of Lesbos in 2016. During that trip, Pope Francis visited a refugee camp of Moira with the Patriarch of Constantinople. He's like the head of the Greek Orthodox Church. He's based there in Constantinople, who is Bartholomew I, and also with the Archbishop of Athens, Levros II. Anyway, in fact, he ended up taking 12 Syrian refugees back with him to Rome, where they lived after being granted asylum again. So he came over and he took 12 refugees back with him, which I think is an amazing thing to do. Anyway, Greek reporter reported at the time unaccompanied women and children in their arms were extending their hands in an effort to shake hands with the three religious leaders. One refugee approached the Pope with tears and bowed in front of him and asked him for his blessing. In an intimate moment, both the Pope and the ecumenical patriarch took a baby in their arms. Anyway, after the Moira camp visit, the three religious leaders visited the island's port, where they held a moment of silence for the refugees and migrants who had lost their lives in an effort to reach the Greek islands. So there you go. It looks like we might be having a visit from the Pope to Greece between the 2nd and 6th of December. So that's something to keep a little lookout for. And finally, another little bit of interesting and also some good news. Local products of Zakynthos were pride of place this weekend, an event that was held regards the Common Agricultural Policy, or CAP, that took place in Corfu, which was organised by the Ionian Islands region in collaboration with the Ministry of Rural Development and Food, with a contribution of the National Rural Network of Rural Development Programme. Anyway, basically, there was a showcase of events, and it also included a display of Zakynthian products, which included wine, oil, raisins, cheese, and beer as well. And they were actually on show over there on Zakynthos. So once again, just to remind you, we do have a local craft beer here on the island, which I'm told is very nice. As of yet, I've never had a chance to have a drink of any of it. But next time you're over, go and check it out. It's actually produced up near Port St Nicholas in the top end of the island, and they have a little brewery up there, and you can actually visit that in the summer. So you may want to take some time out to do that. Anyway, the Zakynthos regional governor, Miss Molyneux, said that the goal is to give products of our islands new possibilities and opportunities and modern dynamics for the production of safe and healthy products with respect for the environment. Only in this way will agricultural income for our producers ensure a competitive environment of the world today. So basically, it's good for the island that we've got products that people do want. And I do remember years ago, Jamie Oliver had a kind of a panache for Zakynthos olive oil. Whether he's still got that panache for Zakynthos olive oil, I don't know. But at the time, there was a bit of a rage that the olive oil was so good that even Jamie Oliver liked to cook with it. Right, that's it from me for this morning. I'll keep my ears close to the ground. Thank you to all those people that are tuning in. Big shout out to Paul Booty, Teresa Ann Huggett as well, Louise Belk, Andy Watson, Paul... people are adding comments, and as I flick down, it goes back up again. Lisa Jane Baker, who are tuning in as well. Just to remind you that the Northern Soul Show is repeated again tonight on Beach Radio, a little bit later than yesterday. It goes out at 7 p.m. UK time, which is 9 p.m. Greek time. Can I thank all those people in the chat room yesterday evening? It was absolutely fantastic talking to the likes of Zanti Pete, also Nobby from the Masons Scooter Club as well, the Square and Compass, chatting to him. Also Sam Curtis. No sign of Shane, actually. I think Shane was still out shooting yesterday, where he was in Exmoor. But again, thank you to all those people that tuned in yesterday. And I've taken your requests, and I'll be popping those into the next show that will be produced for next week. Right, that's it from me. You take care. Have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. I'm going to see if the temperature gets up above 23 today and see if we get like yesterday, where we had 32 degrees Celsius. And you just cannot believe that. November, and it was 32. Anyway, You take care. I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.